Greetings to you this beautiful August morning. I love this cooler weather, and it's so sunny here. I'm having a hard time seeing, and that's probably a good problem. I want to say a few things about the matter of doubt when it comes to the Christian life and our faith. We all wrestle with doubt, and you have probably heard of the character in the Bible, one of the disciples called Doubting Thomas. That's the appellation that's been tagged to him. Doubting Thomas, how'd you like to have a name like that? He was one of the disciples, and he struggled with this matter of faith. And there's a story in the ending of John, the 20th chapter, the Gospel of John, where he's told of Jesus' resurrection, and he says very blatantly, unless I see the prints of the nails in his hands, and unless I put my finger in those prints and my hand in his side where Jesus was pierced on the cross, remember? Unless I can do that, unless I can go through that experiential process, I will not believe. And then remarkably, Jesus soon appears and says to him, place your fingers in my hands. Put your hand on my side and believe. And then Jesus makes this statement, which is rather remarkable. This singular statement where he says, blessed are those rather who believe and do not see. The ones who do not see and do not have the opportunity of looking at me and touching me. Blessed, it is even greater for them if they will believe without seeing. All of us have this dimension in us where we want to have the empirical verification. Circumstances change, and doubt comes over us. And it doesn't seem to matter how many times God has come through for us again and again and again and again and again. It may even be in the exact same areas. The challenge surfaces again, and there we are facing the situation where we know we need to trust God and we don't know what to do. What we have to do is simply commit ourselves, override our feelings, override our fears, quit trying to provide ourselves with some kind of rational basis, cease from looking for further evidence of any kind, and believe in our hearts. To believe is to trust. It's as simple as that. Belief in the scriptures, faith in the Bible, is not some kind of mystical power that you learn to manipulate for your own ends. Faith is simply trust. Trusting in God, knowing that God is God, that He is good, and that somehow He will provide. You remember the story of Abraham and the offering of his son Isaac on the altar, and he says to his son, not knowing how it will all work out when God commanded him to make this great sacrifice of his only unique son, he says to his son, God will somehow provide. And that has to be our attitude with all things. God will somehow provide a way. How do I know that? I don't know that rationally. I know that spiritually, based upon my familiarity, as weak as it may be, with God's character. I know He is God. I know He loves me. I know that because He sent His Son to die for me. And I believe in Him. How do you know that you love someone? Again, it transcends all categories of explanation, doesn't it? How do I know God is real? Because I know. because I have experienced him. And the more that I trust him, the more that I believe in him, the more that I affirm him to others and to myself and to the Lord. The more that I do that, the stronger my faith gets. But your faith will never come to the place where it's complete in this lifetime, in the sense that you will never need to be tested and tried again. God will continue to test you and try you and strengthen your faith if you allow him to. Sometimes we have to go around and around and around and around on the same point again and again and again. But that is, again, the process of learning to believe in God. And I pray that any of you listening here might again know that God is indeed God, that he loves you, and that he can be counted on. So have a great day. May all things go well for you. God's blessings.